hear what they say. Long ago, we're on our way. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Woo!
Welcome everyone to Escape to Reality podcast with Justine
and Geneva. Hello, friends. We are joined by two very special guests today. Taylor and Alyssa from Table Flipping Girls. How's it going?
Hi,
it's going good.
Good. We're so excited to have you guys. We talked Temptation Island with you guys a while back, so we're thrilled to be talking Bravo with you guys. We first always just ask a few random questions to get to know you. Our first being, what's your favorite thing you're watching currently?
Does this mean including like a scripted?
Anything, yeah.
Oh.
could be funniest home videos.
I'll just say I'm really enjoying Dave. So,
Dave.
I'm gonna plug Taylor's show. Yeah.
I've heard of that.
The episode
on
this
that
past
show?
week was phenomenal. Yeah, she plays Dave's girlfriend.
Ooh,
She's little
we gotta
Dickie's
check it out.
We
girlfriend.
got a movie star in our TV star presence. Oh my God.
Cool.
I've heard a lot of buzz about it. Actually, this radio show I was listening to was talking about how they were something about looking at somebody's other guy's buttholes.
Butthole? Yeah, that's my
yeah,
show.
okay.
Yeah. Lots of buttholes, boys' buttholes, my butthole. It's all there.
Love it.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, for plugging it. But
Yeah.
that's on FX and it's also on Hulu and that's
Cool.
airing right now.
Good.
I will
Check it
say
out.
thanks. I am also watching it and I'm really enjoying it. It's such a trip to get to see. But then to be honest, I just finished, I'm so late to the game, but Queen's Gambit, which I love.
Great
I
show.
thought that was so great. And it was so cool. We talk a lot about women in reality TV on our podcast and how it's fun to see women that aren't, worried too much about being likable sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a written character, a fictionalized character that I felt like it was really refreshing to see her be ambitious and tough and goal driven. And they didn't bend over backwards to make sure she's likable and cute. She's just a fucking boss. And I found that really refreshing about that show.
I like how you're 6 months late to the game, but you're in it.
I am. I know. I'm not a big binger of things and I'm always watching so much reality. And then I watched a lot of movies in COVID, but didn't watch too many shows. So, but I will say Queen's Gambit, late to the game, but big fan.
It was and the fashion, just the set designs, all of it was beautiful. Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. I love that she wants to fucking use her money to get a sick ass dress. I think that's so fun.
Right. Yeah. It was great. I did feel not to get into that show, but I felt it was weird that she essentially had this massive pill addiction and then it just faded away and no one even cared about it. And it was oh, whatever. It was just
so strange.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah. Especially when it's incorporated into her life at such a disturbingly young age. And but the pills 7. Are kind of this Tim Burton approach to them where you don't know what they are. They're just these big, colorful canisters of pills. Yeah. Very bizarre. I liked all those weird things though too. I thought it was nice and weird and just kind of a unique show.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have to watch you on TV. That's so exciting. We will check it out. And we'll report back.
I'm so sorry I haven't watched it. I
know. God, we're
you guys
have
for
our
shows.
shows.
Just Venmo me or something.
Okay,
I mean, honestly,
we got
you could just Venmo me your apologies. I appreciate it.
The lead
I
in that
consistently
show-
say Taylor is the best part of the show. Truly,
Aw,
she makes everything better and she's a phenomenal actress. So
That's
we're
great.
just constantly plugging Dave everywhere we go.
Dave
If we
is
don't
a real
get renewed
nice
for a
guy,
season
or-
3, I'll blame you girls.
Okay.
It's all of your fault for not
it's
having
our
seen
fault.
it.
We're going to watch it now though. Okay. Very important question. We would
Getting a lot
love
of
to
buzz.
know, what is your favorite show you guys talk about, that you cover? What's your, for us, it's Love After Lockup. What's your show that really gets you guys going?
I know for me, it depends on the time of year, although it's always on. 90 Day Fiance is my crack. I do think 90 Day Fiance and 90 Day and before the 90 days are the best ones. I know that there is always a spinoff, so they always have it on TV. And that's because they know that they're drug dealers. And I love all of them. I still watch the spinoffs of the spinoffs of the spinoffs.
Yeah.
But I will say nothing gets me more riled up than like being introduced to a woman who is like a professional hula hooper who has like a 15-year-old boyfriend in like Brazil that she's
Are we
like,
talking about
sending her
Stephanie? We
money
love
to.
Stephanie.
Yes, we're talking about Stephanie.
Nut job.
I like it's fun into me creating like a fictional version of her life, but like what amazing TV. I think that really roused. It's funny, it's sad, it's weird, it's like the stakes are so high. I love it too because my boyfriend watches it with me. He doesn't watch all reality TV with me, but he's like, 90 Day Fiance is the best show on television. So,
do you like this season Happily Ever After? How do you feel about it?
I don't love Happily Ever. Believe me, I'm watching it. But we don't even really talk about it on the pod. I feel like I am enjoying it passively. I like have it during breakfast or while I'm doing something else. But the fact that Happily Ever After doesn't have a clock, it doesn't have the before the 90 days sort of stakes or the actual 90 days of 90 Day Fiance, means that the stakes are a little bit lower for me. And sometimes it makes me more sad if they're just like, do you want to continue to follow this dysfunctional couple for forever? I'm like, I don't know about that.
No,
that makes me feel like it's
Happily
sad.
Ever After is rough. It gets like
it's sad. Yeah,
definitely. How about you, Alyssa? Same 90 Day?
No, I actually, that's you guys probably my least favorite show that we watched together, but I watch it for Taylor because I know she loves it. And it does have some like crazy stuff, but sometimes I'm like, this is too real. I need to help these people. Like, are they going to be okay?
It can get depressing. The children involved. Yeah.
I really love watching Siesta Key. I think it's like so stupid.
Okay.
And it's always a party. There's always like 5 party montages, and there's always like really abhorrent behavior and fights about bathing suit lines. And I just don't know like what else you need in a reality show.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Last intro question would be your housewives, Mount Rushmore. Would love to know your 4 foundational housewives to developing the franchise.
Yeah,
each of you.
Yeah.
Alyssa, you go first because I know at least one of mine's gonna piss her right off.
Okay, so I definitely have to go Teresa.
Yeah, of course.
I definitely think Bethany has to be up there. I think like a Candy or a Nene.
Need a solidified answer.
Damn, you're hard bargain here.
We need 4.
It's being chiseled in stone, bitch.
We can't go half and half. I feel like Candy, because she's stayed with the show consistently and has brought her personal life to the show consistently.
That would have been one of our revisions to our
beautiful.
original.
Yes,
love it.
beautiful.
All right, you have one more.
Oof. The last one is tough because while I have watched all of OC, I don't like it, so it's not like one of my favorites. But I don't want to go another Beverly Hills. I mean, let's put Ashley Darby up there. She's the new face of the
Wow. Get out of town. What a pick.
I like that. I like that.
Okay. All right, Taylor.
I'm going to just start off with Teresa.
Of course.
No description necessary. I'm going to follow up with Nene. I just think like in terms of even her effect, her fingerprints are all over pop culture, like beyond Housewives.
Yeah.
Then my last 2 are slightly more of a wild card. I'm going to go Sonia. I think Sonia we talk so much on the podcast about how like what comedic gold she is. And I think like Sonia walked so like a Kathy Hilton could run. You know what I mean? Like the part of why we love these shows is the comedy. And I think that she really opened the door and set some really cool comedy trends for the Housewives. I know this is not a great answer and people are going to hate it, but I think that she is a consistent, solid housewife. Has she pissed me off? Has she been boring sometimes? But Kyle Richards is a pillar in, I think, a very big franchise. And she also, while it can be more boring, because sometimes it's nice, shares a lot of her life. She's always there in every scene. Yeah. She's crying all the time. I don't know. I feel like Kyle Richards is where it's at. We forget about it sometimes.
Yeah, if you think about her, she's kind of the silent horse.
Yeah. And like she's such a big part of the LVP fall down, takedown.
She's involved her family. She's
maybe I'm just doing it because I want to be a Umansky, you know what I mean? But I think that she's my 4th.
I like that. Solid, like very diverse choices, I would say. Very different from everybody else we've heard from. So I love it.
Oh, cool.
Okay, let's get into would love to know you guys how do you feel about Potomac as a franchise? Is it one of your faves like it is for us? How do you feel about Potomac?
Yeah, I love it. I think they consistently share how fucked up their lives are every season, which is what we want. You know, I get upset when people are trying to distract us with bullshit. Yeah, I think it's great. I think they're, you know, one of the funniest franchises. Even when there's nothing going on, there's always like great arguments where there's name calling, and we love that. What else? What do you think, Taylor?
I think they are operating at a 10 in every category. I think they are so funny. I think they are so vulnerable. Like Alyssa said, they're sharing every hot mess that has to do with their life. I think that they bring the fashion and look and makeup game in a way that is so hardcore every episode. I mean, just their like confessional looks alone are like Met Gala quality to me.
I felt like this first episode, there was like this heavy makeup, like in scenes that were weird, like Karen with Ray in the bedroom
watering her plants in a full beat. Yeah. Like, I was like, did you hire 7 glam people to do this watering your plants scene?
Yeah, it was like way too many lashes and just heavy. And even Candace in her house, it was like you could have wiped it off 5 times and it still would have been a layer. I feel like they needed new makeup people. It was weird.
They're coming hard, but even that I like low-key love. I love that there's just like a major effort to be over the
okay, Giselle is okay. I understand people have issues with Giselle. There is nobody like Giselle in terms of like she is shady.
The looks,
the way she threw her coat at Candace's stepkid, like they were the help, and unreal, it was unbelievable.
Her judgmental looks, like first of all, she asks all the gossipy questions and every conversation that we all want to know the answers to. But like, I feel like I get to put myself in her shoes when she's in these scenes and she's doing the just like really skeptical, like eyebrow, like jolty face look, like, and are they over the top? Yes, but they're like so perfect. And yeah, she did look at Candace's children like she like got, like it was like T'Challa, like it was like a parrot or a new animal. She was like, what is this? And she was like, they're my stepchildren.
We put it up on Twitter, like that was like weird or some kind of tweet. I don't know if you saw this, Justine. And somebody responded and was like, oh, this used to happen to me all the time as a kid, and particularly with AKs, like that AKAs, like the sorority girls that, you know, obviously that Giselle is part of, like they specifically just throw their coats at children like all the time.
Wow.
Like it's a trait. I don't know. It was bizarre.
I feel like somebody could have handed me a coat when I was a kid, but I don't know.
What do you mean? I mean, what would you have done with it?
Like my grandma or something, or I take the coat and I put it away for her. But...
I guess, but it's like, wow, that's a stranger.
Could you also imagine, you guys, for a second, that Candace is your stepmom?
No.
Like, imagine.
No. I'd be putting Nair in her hair, in her shaving cream and stuff like, or I don't know. That
would help.
That would help. That's not what you would do, but yeah.
She's like, the babies are visiting us. And I'm like, he's their father. Like, they're not visiting, you know?
The way
they're not your nieces and nephews.
The daughter's hair every chance she could get.
Put on. I think she's trying, but it's a bizarre vibe to me.
Yeah.
I forgot he even had kids, honestly, until they were.
I did too. I too was Giselle. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
As the little girl's coming down the stairs, I was like, the fuck is this?
And they're like grown.
They were pretty estranged. I was surprised that the mom would sign off to let them on TV so much.
Right. I thought the same thing. I don't know. I think
at least they're seeing their dad now.
Giselle and Candace, I think, are going to team up probably against Karen, is what we'll attempt to see. But I don't know. I'm just very intrigued by, I felt like Giselle really was saying, like, I know stuff about Karen and I'm going to tell you. And I feel like she does know things and I want to know what they are.
Uh-huh.
I don't, because what was she saying? Like the drunk, she called her a drunk. She called, like when they were going at it back and forth at the table about the vagina and all of the hot box. What does that even mean?
Whore from him.
She has like herpes or something, obviously. Is that what I mean? Right?
Yeah. Okay. It was some sort of
like
STD
what's burning
knock.
between your legs. Like, it has to be STDs. I mean, look, she was married to someone who fully had like a baby and, you know, was having sex with other people in the church. I would.
Yeah.
It's on fire.
Makes scientific sense that she would have an STD after that.
Isn't it funny to see like Giselle and Candace like gossiping as if they're, we're against Karen because Karen has said all these mean things about Jamal and Giselle.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath, Candace is like, I think you should make it work with Jamal. And I'm like, Giselle, who are your real friends in this situation? Because anyone who's your real friend would be probably not telling you to do that at this
got
point.
A sad life.
Yeah,
it is sad.
So sad.
Her eyes are so sad behind the veil.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like, yeah, Karen was talking shit, but is the shit true? Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems by all accounts that what she said is accurate.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you putting the blame on Karen's door for when you know you're with a douchebag and you're using COVID as an excuse to get out,
The flashback of the dinner with the daughters, and now they have to sit through daddy's there, and they didn't like daddy anyway. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how it shakes out, but I wouldn't want to go against Karen. Karen will read you down.
I do feel like Giselle can take her. I was watching that and being like, this is an evenly matched fight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm excited to see how it plays out.
It was great. Like, just the way I love the banter. That's like, I always say Atlanta's the same way. Like, they can throw shade at each other in a way that's like magical to watch. It's nothing like Beverly Hills. Sutton's crying for an hour and a half over a comment from 4 weeks ago. And like here they're literally calling each other STD filled whores, and they're like, just let's have
and
dessert.
they don't skip a beat. There's no, you know what it is? There's no like gasps where the rhythm stops. Like, you're watching a fight in Beverly Hills recently and someone will be like, your ugly leather pants, and then everybody goes and it's silent, and like the air gets sucked out of the room, and then like the mood changes. Like, nobody is gasping in Potomac. Everybody is just taking a breath to say their next fucking thing that's gonna cut you down. Like, no one is
natural
listening to what's coming at them because they're just firing it away. I love it.
And I just love like when
Giselle
Giselle was like, I'm going to tell your truth, your drunk truth, your cheating truth. And she's like, it's all right. I'll spread it out over time. Like, all calm, like a psychopath. I love that. That's what you want.
Everybody knows they can't stand Karen, right? Right to her. There's no
right
beating
to her
around
face.
the bush. Yeah.
It's so good.
I was going to say that if we weren't horny enough for Juan Dixon already, watching him wear his mask the entire time he was inside, I was like,
mask compliant. You saw that?
It kind of makes me sad for Robin because he obviously hates her.
Well, yeah.
And if they didn't have children, she would never see him ever again on this planet.
Maybe.
And then he wants to have another baby. That's how, after him saying underneath his breath a couple seasons ago, I'd only be here if it wasn't for the kids. I mean, once a guy says that, I don't think there's turning back. And when a guy on national television tells you, what did he say? I'm not in, or that's a turnoff.
Yeah,
I would be devastated for a man to say that to me with the cameras rolling. I mean, it is sad, but she's not waking up.
I think is what we're witnessing.
Yeah.
She's talking about she doesn't want to get out of bed. She looks a little haggard. But I think she's going through it.
Which I get. I mean, that was how I was during peak COVID. I don't know what time of year this was. It's clearly cold outside. Like shit was really bad, Like it's unfortunate that she has children she has to get out of bed to take care of.
Cook them some fucking broccoli, Juan. Yeah. I mean, you're the dad too. Cook them dinner. I don't know.
I appreciate that.
Juan, but you could treat your woman better. She's rolling in some dough. She's a housewife. She's doing something.
Yeah, she's figuring it out. And I think I think it's important, and we've talked about it on our pod, to have like a transparency about, first of all, always mental health, but second of all, mental health in this year of quarantine. And so it's like very cool to see all of these women, who have these like lifestyles of the rich and famous be like, wow, quarantine really hurt me mentally. There's been a lot of challenges, a lot of things I didn't know. I felt sad, or I felt isolated. I felt alone. Yeah. But then you see, so I think it's important for her to talk about. My question is, the conceit of this scene, was it always, let's go get healthy frozen yogurt and I'm going to rip you apart? And because it seems like a really private conversation from a husband to a wife being like, hey, I feel like you're not feeding the kids the right way. You're not getting up early. Like, that seems like a really private. Yeah. Did she agree? Was she like, we're going to go and get froyo and you're going to tell everybody, like, expose all of this dirty laundry? Because that's all they talked about. So I felt and I rarely feel this watching Housewives, but I felt a little bit like I was seeing too much. I was like, oh, this is feeling a little, but did they both agree that that's just a scene that they wanted to shoot? It seems like it, right?
Just came for like a sniper from the side. I don't know, man.
I think we're going to see a second demise of their relationship.
He's got his dick all over town too. I think.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't
like
get
Robin,
a sense
but I feel
that
bad for her. I think she could be treated better.
Robin's a bit of a waste of a housewife to me. I don't know. I think
I don't know. I like that she stays involved and has puts in her 2 cents and tries to defend people every once in a while. Like, is she a more passive one? For sure. But you cannot have everybody in this cast be a heavy hitter, and they almost are.
Yeah, you're right.
You've got 4 or 5 women that are gonna throw fucking down. So every once in a while you just need a Robin. And I don't even think she's that passive compared to other housewives.
I also don't know how she's building a house when she was literally just $150,000 in debt.
No, I guess she got a PPE loan too, which people are in uproar
Oh,
about.
great.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Look, she sells hats. She needs it. What do you want?
Juan could say to her, just in a different way. I agree with Juan that she should probably be up before getting her day started by 2 p.m. Absolutely. But to me, you kind of,
if she's depressed, that shit affects you. You know what I mean? Like, you literally can't get out of bed.
If my
husband seems like he could have said, hey, how are you feeling? I've noticed you've really been in bed a lot. What's going on? Let's talk through it, rather than be like, hey, get the fuck out of bed. The kids need food.
My dick is limp with you and your horrible mothering, and you don't get up, you lazy piece of garbage.
I think it's he's just thinking of it from sort of, unfortunately, a misogynistic athlete perspective, where he's you're lazy. What's wrong with you? There's no are you okay? Should we get help? Sort of conversation happening. He's eat better and get up.
Yeah, he works in athletics. Right. My husband does, and he always says there's nobody lazier than an NBA player or a basketball player. They just are napping constantly. It's just, even if you watch an NBA player walk, it's a slow, lazy walk.
Yeah, they got those long legs. They could get there a lot faster.
It's I watch if I watch a kid walk across campus, a basketball player walk across campus, it's hours of time. It's watching a sloth.
I have to say, I play basketball. I just played my first full court game since the beginning of the pandemic, right? Which was brutal because I have asthma, and you can kind of condition yourself to be okay, but when all the courts are shut down, what are you supposed to do? And I was limping as if my legs were broken the next day. So if you have to play every day professionally, you might
you're doing
be
the slow walk.
A little bit sore. So
absolutely. How did we feel about Wendy's new look? To be honest, it made me sad.
It made you sad?
No. I thought she looked great.
I think she looks phenomenal.
I thought she looked good, but I feel what she did is she saw herself the first season. And now she's coming into the second season, getting all this work done, trying to look I don't care about
Leah.
the boobs and the ass. It's she fucked with her face, and you can tell it's obvious that it was it came from an insecure place to me. It wasn't
sure.
I don't know. It didn't come across positive. I thought she looked.
I loved her first season. I didn't think anything.
She did just have a baby the first season, and she was actively pumping, and that's a very hard time to join a TV show for sure. So I don't know. I thought it was one of the rare cases. I don't disagree with you, and I think most people go through that in any reality show, but I thought it was one of the rare cases where she still did look like herself. Yeah. So I was okay, if you feel better and you're now done having kids and this is for you, then great. I suspect things might keep going.
That's
that's
just
what happens. Situation. Yeah.
I feel next season her face may look even tighter and different, and then we're looking at a different person.
I was wondering where she was going with the robe, and then she lifted out. I did like that. Happy.
No, her boobs look great.
Yeah, I think it's worth celebrating when you want to do something like that, because the point of getting a fantastic boob job and then being coy about it is always confused to me. So I do think it's fun to just be look what I did. Blah, blah, blah. Totally. But I agree with Alyssa. I think it's she right now looks like a really beautiful version of herself. And of course, when we're seeing her at this party, she's also got her full glam and she looks so amazing. I hope that she doesn't get addicted to it, because she's naturally beautiful. She's only emphasized it now with this work, it seems, but it is such a fine line. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, listen, seeing yourself on TV is a stripped down experience. I'm sure. I mean, it's almost that's what my eyebrow does when I'm talking. It's dark.
And then with social media involved, it can be brutal.
Oh, yeah. And even I remember when we first started doing the podcast, I was this is what my voice sounds like. What the fuck?
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's every level. Yeah. I like Wendy. I think
apologize to our listeners.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it shakes out with her husband, because there's some.
He better not be doing anything. He's I liked them. It breaks my heart.
I did
Yeah,
too.
what's he mad about? She's great.
Well, there's
What's
like a
he
rumor.
mad about?
There's a rumor, I think, that he's cheating or something.
Or
that's
had
gonna
a baby
come
out
out.
of
Yeah.
wedlock. but-
Yeah.
Where do these men find the time?
I
Where
know.
do they find the time? Every
I
time
have
I
no
hear
idea.
about cheating, every time
Okay.
I've been cheated on, I'm like, what?
Yeah, where were
show
they?
me that
When
your
were they then?
calendar.
Yeah,
Show
right.
me your
I
Apple
know.
calendar,
I know,
people. How did
right?
you do
God.
this while you are fucking and in COVID?
Right.
Or like right out of COVID? I don't know.
Right.
Were you
It's
fucking her with a mask
astonishing.
on at least?
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
I did
how
think it was
about,
very sweet that their boys like didn't know what a boob was. That was pretty
Oh, that
good.
was precious. They were like,
So
"We're doing a
cute.
good job.
Oh,
We're
they're
doing
so
it." I loved that.
adorable. My kids would be like, "This is a boob."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the boob cake, the boob cupcakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that theme. I loved what is it? Nude
What'd she say? Nude
down.
lounge.
It did look
Interlude.
good.
Nude interlude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
And
like a
I
good
like
song.
Giselle taking off Ashley's swollen feet, her shoes for her. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. And Ashley trying to put on her heels to fit in with everybody was so darling. She was like, well, look at you girls in your cute outfits. I was like, Ashley, first of all, you still look stunning, even
Ugh.
though you're like 9.5 months pregnant.
Ugh.
And she just wanted to fit in. I thought that was a cute little moment.
I hate a pregnant housewife. I just
Oh,
don't
I-
want my housewives pregnant. it's a waste
agree.
of time.
I guess that
and
makes sense.
space.
I love a hungry housewife.
Oh,
I love
me
when
too.
a housewife is like, where is the
Yes.
food?
Oh, love it.
Geneva brought
Love
up though, what's his face? Her husband's name? It's
Michael.
Michael, that they haven't had sex since month 5 of the pregnancy.
Month 5.
That's
So she
'cause
said,
Good
he's
sign.
cheating on
that's
you.
what I said. Exactly. It's like, of course he's cheating. It just makes me like, I think Ashley is fun. I root for Ashley. I hate that she's having another kid with him. Like,
Yeah.
I just, it
Alyssa shared that with me over last year as if, and she's like as gently as if like a friend had passed away. She was like, hey, are you sitting
Ashley's
down?
pregnant.
Ashley's having another kid with Michael. And it felt like that. You're just like, oh, that really,
It was disappointing.
really breaks my heart.
Yes,
It's really
like
disappointing.
a
And
friend
these are
letting you down.
they're human lives. Like these are going
I
to
know.
be people. These are people.
Especially last season when he's grabbing ass and the camera. I mean,
It's
I mean,
really
there was-
disheartening.
He never had worse behavior than last season. I mean,
know.
there was the video in the hotel room. There's the grabbing ass incident. I mean, it's out of line.
she
Ugh,
must
it
get
drives
some
me
good.
nuts.
She's got
I
a
also-
plan.
Yeah, I also desperately want them to move out of that penthouse. It just like every time I see it, I'm like, you got kids? What are you doing?
Agreed.
There's
Like,
like
what's going on?
glass with like
Yes.
stones in the middle, as if there should
Seems
be
like a hazard.
It's like an outdoor bar fire.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. That's exactly the vibe.
Such an interesting choice for the city they live in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I expect some cute house with a nice big yard. And
Right. How do we feel about Mia?
she's tough,
Alyssa?
man. She's really, I don't know how smart she is. I'm going to be honest with you.
Nor do I.
Oh, what makes you say that, Alyssa?
Please
She's
expand.
also pretty, I don't know. Talk about too much plastic surgery. Like it's nice that she's honest about it, but she looks a little bit like cartoonish.
I mean,
Yeah.
if
She
that's
does.
38, I'm 15. Like, I don't understand how that she just has fucked with her face far too much.
or it makes you look older
So
than
much.
38.
Yeah.
almost
She
looks
doesn't
different.
look
Yeah.
human. Like
No.
it's very like mannequin like.
I would
I didn't know your
love to
clitoris need to be fixed after.
Yeah, I
giving
didn't
birth.
either.
But do I love the candidness about it all? Do I love how
Yes.
much she's
I did like
talking? Do I
that,
love how
yes.
involved she is from the get-go? Do I love her like
Phaedra mask.
fuzzy, every
Yeah.
texture you could imagine outfit? Yes. I'm like,
Yes.
welcome to the party.
I felt like she was
Although, you know
wearing
what
the
I did
Skims
feel? Oh yeah, she was wearing like the Skims loungewear thing. She does feel to me like I wanted to pluck her and go like put her in New York or go like put her in Beverly Hills or put her in a show that's like a little has like less big personalities or of
Mhm.
this nature because it seems like we're just adding more salt at this point to Potomac's cast that is already so fucking fire. It's
Yeah.
like and so I love her. I'm excited. I think that she's gonna have a really cool like big personality, but I really almost wanted to put her in a different city because I was
Mhm.
like, we don't even need you, girl.
We're like, take Brashawn out and put her in New York. That would
Yeah.
be-
Or put her
Yeah.
and Rashawn together and go put
Yeah.
them in Salem with these New York bitches and like see what happens. I'm like,
yeah.
because she's ready to play, which I appreciate. I thought her entrance was chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Not
I thought it
knowing
was good.
her age, listing off her surgeries, talking about having grandchildren.
Grandparents,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be good. I almost feel like this is where I'm like Ramona. Like I feel like the new one's got to come in a respectful way. I feel like she came in a little hot. It's like respect your place. But I think she could be fun.
What a show she got though. First night in.
Oh my god,
Giselle and Karen. I would die for that.
It was great.
I loved Wendy. This is just a
Potomac?
Stupid thought, but Wendy moving the baby gate when she was coming down the stairs. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but it just made me laugh. It's such a real moment that you have this stupid. Nothing's worse than a baby gate in a house. I hate that.
It's fucking terrible. I took mine down after I was just like, if you fall up the stairs and
then you're on your own, kid. Yeah, I hate it.
The worst. All right, should we talk Beverly Hills? Would love. Okay.
Yes, we need your opinions.
Right. I was enthralled last night watching. At the end, I was sitting there like,
I blinked.
Erica's. I thought I almost believed Erica. Then I went on Twitter and I'm like, wait, do I not believe Erica?
It's a good slap across the face.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wake the fuck up. She's an actress. You're getting into it. So Taylor, you're an actress. So tell us, was that acting? How do you feel?
Okay. I think it's honestly cruel what's happening at this point, because no matter what I feel, I end up feeling guilty about it. Like at moments where I'm like, she's a fucking criminal, arrest her. I'm like, am I just like a woman hating, like going along, like blaming this woman when she might not have known
innocent,
when she was innocent. And then when I have moments of thinking that she's innocent, I'm like, I'm being made a fool of from her, because she'll start saying something that really rings true to me, really makes sense, feels honest. And then she finishes it with a clear performance. Things like the tears are too perfect. The line is too perfect. Like, I'm sorry, I would hug him and he wouldn't hug me back while she's crying. No fucking way. What cheap ass writer did you get to write that line?
And he did everything for you. So which one is it?
Like I said, my bigger takeaway is that I am now getting to a point where I'm like, it's hard for me to even enjoy it, because the stakes are too real. There are such real victims, lives are being ruined. Whether or not she did it, her life is being ruined. Like it's
true.
Wild. I do think this episode exposed so much. It was just giving me whiplash. But as an actress commenting on another actress, there are some lines in there that were acted with a capital A.
Ooh, okay.
What do you think, Alyssa?
Okay, I have a couple things. First, I know the show is edited, but in her like long drawn out crying scene with Kyle, she didn't say she felt bad for any of the victims. She was just worried about Tom. She was true. Like, maybe I'm stupid, but like, I hope someone is there comforting him, and so that was very interesting to me. Camille Grammer's tweet. Did you guys see this?
Yes, we did.
What?
Okay. So Camille Grammer basically tweeted, we went on an entire vacation in the Bahamas, I think it was. We were in the ocean all day and not one like drip of mascara ever ran down Erica Jane's face, meaning like she wore non-waterproof mascara on purpose, which was interesting. Camille Grammer was obviously a hater.
Camille coming in with the dirty laundry.
That is.
I think to Alyssa's point too, and we see a preview of it happening next week, the other really damning thing she did, in addition to caring about Tom, the state of Tom, she's starting to breadcrumb his alibi, which is that he is unwell
losing
that he is losing it.
I thought the same thing.
Hit her corroborating his bullshit alibi. She's protecting him.
Yeah.
And that's the most obvious shitty. You guys are in cahoots.
Yeah. When she started crying and was like, he's degrading in front of me and he's ignoring me. And it was like, to your point, Justine, a week ago in the freaking wherever they were in Tahoe, she's saying like, oh, he's at the office, him, can't, now he's degrading. It's like, which one is it? Is he falling apart or is he a workhorse?
Right.
Also, she looks terrible being like, oh, sorry about my tiny shitty house. And then she walks outside and there's like a full Vegas cabana next to a pool. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
It's obnoxious.
Gorgeous.
So out of touch. So out of touch.
And even all of them, when they walk in and she's like, it's kind of small. And Lisa's like, oh, it's cute. It's like anybody would take your 2,500 square foot freaking house in Beverly Hills with a pool. Stop it. Like it's almost insulting.
It's really insulting. It's so it's just you are so out of touch with like humans. Also, can I say it's bananas, and I'm surprised. I mean, I guess the vibe was probably off for why am I forgetting her name? Crystal to get defensive, but to go, oh, ladies, you should check your husband's bank accounts. Like, I'm sorry. You're married to a criminal. Not all husbands are criminals, and not all wives wouldn't know what's going on, which is what your alibi is. Like, for her to go, I never knew, and I bet you ladies wouldn't either. Go check your husband's bank accounts. I would be so pissed. I'd be like, I'm here drinking this fancy champagne to make you feel better, but I didn't marry a criminal who is ruining people's lives. Who already dealt with great tragedy. My husband made The Lion King. He didn't like steal from widows and orphans. Like
Lisa Rinna like backed that up. She's like,
crazy.
Most of my friends, like, they don't know. Most women don't know. It's like,
even if they don't know, it's not that what they don't know is crime.
Right. But it's like just to say all women are
Kyle
just
and
like
Lisa
ignorantly
really
just like getting money thrown at them. Like, oh, we have money. Oh, we don't. What? It's like, what the fuck? I found that so insulting.
I just thought it was like at your don't. It was condescending. It was rude, and it was like not the smart thing. While she was already had the floor to make everything about her,
right?
To then be like, and this could happen to anybody. Like,
the way she's pouring champagne and handing it, and her monologues. It's riveting television. I'm just captivated.
The one other like weird thing to me too, which I don't think this really actually means anything. It was just strange that she was like, if you want to know who your friends are, go to jail, lose all your money. Ask them to bury a body.
Thank you. I thought the same.
I was like, that to me means like you are down to rob people, you know? Like,
I'm sorry. If a fucking friend calls me and asks me to bury a body, I will politely decline. Like, there are limits to friendships. I'm sorry. One of them is murder.
Heard that, Geneva.
It does very much imply guilt. It's funny. I was watching this episode with my boyfriend's sister is in town, and she doesn't normally watch, and so it was so fun to see it through, like a virgin viewer's eyes.
That is always fun.
And this episode did a good job of filling in all the exposition, showing the headlines, so she like got it. And they're in that cabana with her like personalized pillows, portraits of her all over the place, and my Amber was like, this is a guilty person. Like, this is just a guilty person who also like doesn't get what's like doesn't even know how to defend themselves because they don't understand. This is my tiny house. Like, you're in your private pool cabana,
right? I also
personalized pillows.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I also feel like the stylist, whatever his name is, Mickey or whatever, they're making intentional choices to put her in sweatsuits and make her look like dressed down. And like every scene she was wearing some kind of tracksuit. Like, now she's like just a Jenny from the block. Like, she's just living in her little house. It's like, fuck off, your entire closet. We know what's in there. I don't know. I felt like it's almost
crazy.
It could be calculated. I don't know.
I'm confused about how she still has money for glam. Like, we should see a shift in her makeup.
Yeah,
like,
I don't. Also a good point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more she's talking, the more I feel like she's in there writing, doing his accounting, and really more involved than I even thought. The more she gets into it and says that he's degrading, he's getting sick in front. You can't see, Tom.
That part. That was where I was like, oh, she's setting something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt for her right up until then. And then when she lifted her head up and the tears were just dry, it almost made me laugh. I was like, oh my God.
She hadn't been so cold forever, maybe if she had, why all of a sudden now are you opening up to every single person when most people would crawl into a hole?
That's where I start beating myself up, right? I say that, I think that, and then I go, I'm setting herself up for failure. She could never win, right? Like, so I'm here going, Erica's too cold. She's not exposing enough of her life, of her vulnerability, of what she really feels. Now that she's doing it, I'm going, no way, it's real. So then I feel bad as a viewer going, oh, I'm again setting her up to not be able to win me over, and that makes me feel shitty. And like,
if it was Kyle Richards, she's crying all the time about her kid not being in dance, I would buy it. But she never gave. She was so cold always.
Also know that those women like fold a napkin up so like precisely and then dab the corner of their eye before any tear ever touches their makeup. Like, that's so suspicious to me.
So true. So true. You know what I loved, not Erica related, was I thought Crystal showed her just the way she talked to Sutton when they had that conversation on the couch. I was like, oh, you do not fuck with Crystal.
Mommy's pissed.
Yes. Like it was like, I found it like powerful.
Cruel,
like she's,
I thought.
Yeah.
I don't care
I mean,
if
I
your
think
dad died. You're manic, bitch. I don't know.
I mean,
she's
just
a force for sure.
She's
I've
a
said it on our
force.
pod. I would not want to get in a fight with her because she's intimidating, and it has everything to do with her being very well spoken and really smart. But like, her delivery, is cutting.
Yes, when she was like, "Oh no, I'm not taking that back." Like, I am not taking that back, and like she was dead ass serious, and it was like, "Oh, she's not going to." Like,
everybody
something
very
else
dry
was
delivery. Happening. It's very crazy over somebody walking into your room. It seems to me a little nuts. They're both getting crazy to me.
Oh, you're on the anti-violation side now?
I just think that this is crazy to keep going on and on about. I mean, Sutton obviously didn't go in there to get a peep.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody to say your dad killed himself, I would, as a person, say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't mean that. I'll get way too."
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'd be kissing Sutton's ass for eternity. I would feel bad at a certain point, but I like. I like watching her, but she comes to me cruel.
It seems like there's just an absolute, I mean, Sutton tried to say it and it also came off really bitchy, but like that they just are not compatible personalities in terms of the general vibe they're going to bring to a dinner party. You know, Crystal has like a really cool sort of like stoic, cool girl attitude. And Sutton is like, if there's an inside joke at the table I'm not a part of, I'm going to burst into tears. And that like couldn't be more polar opposite of one another. So even though like the topic, whatever they're fighting about, that's not the thing. It's that I think Sutton sees this is a girl who I might not be able to be satisfied with our friendship, like maybe ever. And then that gets to her. Yeah, and it's like, well, now I'm going to be on the outs with this group because everybody else can connect with Crystal, but I can't. Right. She needs more in a friendship. She needs, Alyssa pointed out, she's like always giving people gifts. Like she's like giving people gifts. She wants to be solidify. Loved. Yeah, she wants to be loved. She wants to connect with people. And like, it seems like her tactics might not work on somebody like Crystal. And she sees the writing on the wall.
Well, and they're like
I can't even be at a dinner with her.
Yeah. And they're like, when she's talking to when they're having that conversation, like everybody's holding Sutton like she's a baby. Like they're all crowded around her. Like, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. It's like just Sutton obviously is a little off her rocker.
She's fragile. Yeah. They're both great TV.
Yes.
I enjoy
fragile.
having
That's a perfect way to say. Oh, yeah.
And Crystal's beautiful. Yeah.
She is. But man, when she was talking to her, I was like, oh, this is like,
but she's not
going to piss her off like at all.
Go to your room.
Ask you guys about a separate thing that's also in this episode, which is, and it's a trend, and I just want to talk to a couple of gals about it. The turtleneck sleeves cutout sweater that Garcelle wore to visit Kyle, which basically to me looks like if you gave a scarf sleeves.
It was weird.
It's weird,
Garcelle's
right?
clothes to me don't flatter her the way that she could be. She's like one of the world's most beautiful women, and even at the party, she was wearing this whole leather, big, huge skirt, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I was looking at that thing thinking that costs at least $500 and it's like no material.
And it's no fabric. It's not an actual piece of clothing. It is but make it that. So, but in the fact that it was like, it's winter, everything else about her outfits, it's always a pet peeve of mine. I went to high school in Minnesota and like girls would wear really cute sweaters and then like open-toed like heels. And I would be like, that makes no sense. And so to have a sweater where you cut off the sweater is and I know it's winter in LA, but it makes no sense to me. And to Alyssa's point, to spend money on something that is like a tissue worth of fabric, but that's just the sleeves.
It's a very Yeezy vibe, like when it was really homeless looking. Like that's you paid to look disheveled.
It's like it's sort of scrappy, and then like the turtleneck part made it weird. I just wanted to see if you guys were like that. Also weird,
and I
love them. I was like, maybe I'm crazy, and people are like, that's really cute.
I couldn't stop looking at her entire outfit because her shoes were off too, because she was wearing heels, like you said. It was very odd. I think Garcelle undersells herself by what she wears for sure. She's like gorgeous, but her style is a little weird. All of their style, honestly, on Beverly Hills is
flattering.
It's a little
there's like Kyle Richards. I don't know what she should be wearing, but whatever she does.
She does a bad job. I'm rewatching the whole franchise with my boyfriend, and he he watched Roni and then he jumped to Beverly Hills and likes Roni much better. But
great man. Keep him around.
Thank you. Kyle's style is horrendous to the point where I'm like, what does Mauricio like see in you? Like I like you are wearing a circus tent covered in beads like all the time for every season.
It's weird. She just doesn't know how to. I don't know what I want to.
You're too rich. I think your whole life or something. Just buy what you think people tell you, or I don't know.
Yeah, because I hate Sutton's fashion too. I haven't really liked one thing she's worn yet.
It's horrible.
Maybe one.
Terrible.
Right, but it's money, right? She's in a freaking Dolce.
There's not another franchise where so many of them accidentally wear the same shit.
That is also true.
So you'll be like, wow, what a ridiculous outfit. And then they show up at the party and it'll be like, Kyle, Lisa, we're both wearing the ridiculous
and their
shit.
stylists can't talk to each other.
What's happening?
Yeah.
But I will say, speaking of fashion, that Lisa Rinna's closet garage was giving me tingles. I knew Alyssa was going to melt at that scene.
Why did she have all that shit? I literally was looking at her IMDb like, what are you famous for? I don't understand.
Right?
Soap operas. Soap operas,
right.
honestly, is such a it's first of all, you get like contract roles, absolute
Melrose Place back in the day.
Daytime Emmys, like there's so many that like daytime elite is like a real thing. And then she was just also so famous for being like so hot.
Okay, like custom Versace.
Her money too for some odd reason, and
that Versace. I mean, I also love that her daughter is dating someone from Love Island.
Yes,
that's great.
I didn't recognize him because I didn't see that season.
Oh, okay,
but my friend Amber was like, "He's from Love Island." Like right before the show said it, she was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, it's wild.
Love that crossover.
Yeah. And I also liked seeing Sutton's daughter. I forgot that we'd met her before. And like,
me too.
I don't remember.
Weird to think of Sutton as a mother. Like, I forget she has kids. I don't know. So it was kind of nice. It humanized her a little bit for me to see her with a kid. It was like, oh,
keep them away from Lisa Rinna's kids.
Oh God, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No play dates.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Beverly Hills that stuck to you? And we'll wrap it up a little New York.
I liked the balcony and people standing underneath the balcony both times. Lisa Rinna and Dory and Kyle and Garcelle.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was certainly the fancier
cute
version of like what I did with a lot of my friends, where I would go to their like tiny apartment in Silver Lake and like sit in their like car spot, like covered in dirt. I would sit by like their dumpster in a beach chair, and they would just like open their apartment door and talk to me. I was like, oh, this is basically what I did, except way more beautiful.
I love it. Okay, before we let you guys go, just would like to know quickly what your thoughts are on this season in New York. Because, okay, Alyssa, you watched all of it. You love New York generally. How do you feel about this season?
It's interesting, right? Because I think we've been talking a lot about how this is getting a lot of issues that are very heavy involved, which is not what we normally see from New York. It kind of makes it hard to root for the housewives that you normally like.
Yes.
But I have been convinced by the internet that what's really special about housewives is that we do talk about things that are real, that affect people's lives, like I hate to say like Taylor Armstrong's husband situation or Teresa going to prison and all of those things. So if we're including all of that, I don't know why we are getting upset at Ebony for talking about what her life is like and having to fit in with this group of women is probably very stressful and awkward for her. Yeah. And so I feel like she's trying to deal with it by calling out the elephant of the room and like tackling it head on. I mean, I don't like Brashawn.
No,
me either.
Don't call Sonia a clown. I will come for you. I just found that ridiculous. It was like she was, it came across way too extra and aggressive.
Like, she's at dinner and she's screaming at everybody.
Right. It was just bizarre.
I liked Luann's reaction. Get out of here. Call me a grandma.
Loved that.
I think that there's also an effect that's happening. Like the first couple of franchises that came out earlier, like at the end of last year, earlier this year, that were COVID seasons, I'll call them, where they were like shot in COVID. We were more as an audience, or at least I was aware of that. So the limited production possibilities meant, listen, you're just going to get a lot of scenes of the same women and sometimes even smaller groups of that cast talking to each other in an isolated space. There isn't a lot of set pieces of these big parties or these big trips, or even other characters, and seeing a Ramona and Sonia like fight over a guy at a bar. Or these like side scenes aren't happening. So I think that we've now seen a couple of those seasons, and I wonder if we're forgetting while we're watching this season of the New York one that it is still a COVID season, and so we don't get a lot of those fun elements that just make the show even more colorful and more interesting. And so it's a lot harsher on. We're just like a lot harsher on it than I think we would have been if it came out a year ago. I think we're forgetting that there is less for these women to talk about and do because they are still in quarantine. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
it feels very COVID to me. Just
if people
Salem.
are bored, it's like the same. Like we're just getting the 5 of them. They're sitting on a couch, but they're just sitting on a couch in Salem. Or we're getting the 5 of them, and we're doing an election night party, but it's just in somebody's apartment.
Yeah.
And while still the best housewife scenes are ultimately just them sitting and talking, for sure, I'm not denying that. There is less filler and less stimulation happening, fewer things to talk about for them. So I'm still really enjoying it. I really love Ebony. I really love Leah. I still am there's like so many iconic Sonia moments that are happening. Is it really time to get rid of Ramona? Yeah, I think that this is proving it. And I think sometimes you need to like let it crash and burn. Because what if they had fired her a year ago or 2 years ago and people were like, no, she's still an icon, even though she's evil. So now we just see it, right? Like now we just see that we should get rid of Ramona. At least that's my take. But
I think the tricky part is Sonia without Ramona. What does that look like? Like Sonia pounding the wine through her mask, sucking down Ramona's wine glass, and Ramona just looked over at her and the poop scene with Ramona and Sonia, like that's the dynamic that I love, like the two of them together, that I think sometimes you don't get as much.
I think
so
New
I don't
York
know how
could be
Sonia would
wiped
do by herself.
clean, and we could start fresh.
Yeah,
I feel like Sonia needs a spin-off, maybe with the Josh Flagg, or even by herself. Or
I would take a Sonia show.
I don't know. It seems tired.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I just don't know what we're doing anymore. That's really like how I feel. And I felt a little bit that way last season. And I was hoping Leah would like bring it a little more. And I'm just kind of like, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's only so much one person could do, or even 2 people.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true. Yeah, I think you may be right. Might be time for
Ebony at the dinner, though, when Bershawn was going crazy. It seemed like Ebony was part of the gang now, and she was like, "Don't you talk about it?" Like I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Ebony's so cute. I just want to be.
Yeah,
she does look great. Yeah. Okay, so let everybody know where you can get your pod, where to follow you, all of those things.
New episodes every Friday, and you can follow us on Instagram at Table Flipping Podcast.
Awesome.
And watch Taylor on Dave.
And watch Taylor on Dave.
Watch Taylor on Dave.
Yeah.
Woo!
We're definitely gonna watch it. It was so fun having you guys on and getting to talk some of our faves. So we loved it, and I know we'll chat again at some point.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
should talk 90 Day Fiance.
We should.
Alex and Taylor.
Make Alyssa really suffer for it. Dumpster. All right. Thanks, guys.